in terms of bringing newer or smaller players into the ecosystem? So one, I wanted to know your response to that. And secondly, in terms of how that would play out in a international context.
So you're right that when the traditional business model of an industry is not followed through, then traditional industry players feel uncomfortable about it. But in my opinion, the very success inherently answers it. The fact that it is so successful and so many players exist, everybody is welcome to not participate. If they think that it is not viable and interesting, just don't participate. Let's see who does. So, in my opinion, it is a good thing to follow the same model of commercial that traditionally been, but new things follow new business models. And that is what it is. So, in my opinion, that's a overstated problem than an actual issue. If anybody has a problem, thank you so much. Don't participate. It's an open gateway. There is nobody is forcing anybody to be in this game. And everybody who's there are, if they are, let's say, we can take success of many other things. For example, like in App Store, many apps are free, and there are very big games or apps which are free, and they have a business model which are derivative business models, freemium, advertising, subscriptions, cross sell. There are many other things that people do it. So I wonder, why are we asking in this context either? I mean, does WhatsApp on the day one charges? No. Does it have a business model yet? Let's talk about it. Is it so grossly undervalued, not useful stuff that people are not buying for it? So my thing is that it is true that it does not follow the traditional business model, but it is untrue that it is not viable. That is the statement I'm saying. It has its own byproduct of business model. In fact, one legendary businessman said, "Your margin is my opportunity." So I rather say that UPI attacks others' margin is the reason that it is an opportunity, and others have not been able to challenge it yet. Well, the very fact that UPI has been able to successfully attack cost of, let's say, many other networks is because it challenged their margin structurally.
Does that mean then it becomes an opportunity only for people with deep pockets? I mean,
No, it's not. Everybody is players. In fact, it's an open network. It's everybody is welcome and discovering. In fact, so let's see, what did UPI supersede ahead of, and what is behind. The behind is something that has been there, priced rail. UPI is a rail. UPI is not the end business. End businesses are free to charge, and banks charge that, okay, I'll give you n number of payments for free, I'll give you n number of services, you can create value add on top of it, and so on and so forth. So there are many other businesses that are existent out there. I mean, I'm very happy to share on the table that we who are champions of zero price MDR based UPI payments discovered that merchant is ready to pay a subscription. So what if that exists as a business model? You have to see the value. If the value attributable was discoverable and priceable only in a transaction, yes, that is something where the business model innovation is. So in my opinion, UPI's big success reason is actually business model innovation, which sort of is championed by Government of India. I think this is the Government of India's master stroke. Else, the real-time payment existed in IMPS. There was MMID that existed. There are n number of systems literally like UPI existed. And UPI for first 3 years did not have transaction volume. It happened when NITI Aayog in 2019 took a call. What happened between 16 to 19? So let's not say that 0% MDR effectively to the merchant, industry still makes money. And let's understand, industry money last year was 2,700 crore that was paid by Government of India. That's a clean margin. And I understand this is less. If it is too less, then please don't participate. If it is optimum, please innovate. So in my opinion, Government of India and UPI as network have taken this incredible call for making our country proud by taking not only the technology forward as NPCI has done, but also taking a business model of obligation of innovation and frugality of UPI in terms of cost to the merchant and cost to operate is also its global benchmark. Let's understand, let's not say that anybody else could have made it. It could have been made only if NPCI would have tried it, Government of India would have pursued digitization, regulator would have supported it. Let's not shy away from saying that. Let me just give another example of it. The byproduct of UPI success is a RuPay credit card. I mean, I would say that, and if internally you know it, because RuPay credit card was like a third cousin of credit card ecosystem. literally third in a sense, but yes, there are more cousins out there. But imagine when RuPay credit card came on UPI rail to make payment. Today, everybody on social media to practically reaching out to the bank asks by demand, I need RuPay credit card. From a third cousin whom what the value add they would offer, and incentives have been attempted and many things have been attempted. But the power of UPI, you can see that UPI is taking care of his elder brother called RuPay on a card networks which otherwise were not viably available as RuPay as an option. Now, so here it is. In my opinion, the reason that it is again the power of commercial business model and power of scale and technology. We have to acknowledge that part. So while I've said a lot about that this is an open field and there is a technology, there is no secret about it that the acknowledgement of what is demand also is there, in my opinion, that we also should be concerned about it. So I would say government should continue the subsidy, increase it, remove the subsidies. It should be double, triple, four times. This is the pride of nation. अगर आप भारत सरकार किसी न किसी तबके को, सोशल तबके को, किसानों को, कभी किसी इंक्लूजन को, उनको पैसे देती है तो हमें भी देनी चाहिए. Sort of didn't work out as PPI industry would have expected it. One was that there was mandate change of PPI. It was not allowed to do P2P transfer. I mean, it was obligated to open a bank account like PPI, which is like full KYC and restrictions or those kinds. So basically, onboarding and features were shut down. Second was commercial. The rest of the networks with their participant priced adding money to the UPI at an e-commerce level. So Paytm, standalone. And I was just thinking, calculating the question, you'll be surprised. 25,000 crore rupees of investment was done by Paytm as a private organization in this country to make QR, wallet, mobile payments successful and reach everywhere it is. 25,000 crore of equity. Obviously, we ended up investing even further, but I'm talking about pre-PPI. And the industry, as a rest of the industry, which was hooking to UPI through the PPI wallet, was making money literally at a. So merchant was not paying because, like we just now discussed, and we were paying 1.5%, 1%, and then there was a 0.64% was the minimum that we were paying for any money that was coming into the system. The system was using this money for two parts. One was moving the money between people, another was merchant who could take to the bank account. Intermoving was blocked. Moving to merchant was free. So it was made to where it is. And to the credit of UPI, to the credit of NPCI, it not only embraced it as an opportunity, it also embraced, like I was saying a few minutes back, 0% MDR. Also, I mean, I would give it to government and regulator here and NPCI to scale the technology impeccably well, that whatever the discovery sort of happened, if at all, it became scalable and a pride of this country today. Now, the challenge is going forward, like you said about the banking or the banking part of the bank part of the network, because banks never built the deposited account at a real-time throughput of what NPCI's payment system or UPI payment system of our country is actually processing. It was stored money account, and how many times you would debit credit it. And especially when, if you notice, the acquiring side of the merchant was also less. P2P payments were effectively network payment or check draft. So the particular scale for which transaction processing was made got overwhelmed when the success of UPI at a scale that we see today is. So the bank failure is just a byproduct of what the system was made for versus what system is being used for. And to the credit of NPCI, like we just now hearing it, that they've been able to innovate, including UPI Lite as a system where it does not go, and so on and so forth. and many other things. I mean, banks are refactoring, banks are investing in technology. I remember that one of the sessions that we used to have was bank have to invest on technology to make this successful. And it is important as bank to invest, but again, this is a universe of banks. There are good tech savvy bank, there are yet to figure out great tech, and then I may not be a tech savvy bank. So that's where we are. But I would say that it is now clear to a bank that if I do not offer my customer ability to do scalable, good transaction experience on UPI, whether through their app or third-party app, I'm not offering the core services that customers expect as a core now. And that's the beauty about it. And I think the different funding source would add to it. But PPI was signed off long back.